Well, the church bells ring.
Let's call order the workshop meeting for June 6, 2023. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Stoyan? Here. Councilmember Monto?
Here.
Councilmember Stoyan? Here. Councilmember Nichols?
Here.
Councilmember Elijah?
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, communication from the mayor. Discussion on communications from the public.
Ratification request from Steve Watterson on behalf of the Resource Center, filling the gap in Slow Roll Buffalo, requesting permission to conduct group bicycle ride in the city of Dunkirk on Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Any discussion, council?
Already happened.
Yeah, this was already.
Yeah.
This was last
Number two.
Number 2, request from Katie Initial on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club to close 11th Street to traffic between East Doty Street and Courtney Street on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the annual speed dates.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number 3.
Number 3, request from the Dunkirk Midget Football League to have their annual Dunkirk Midget Football Tag Days fundraiser on Saturday, August 19th, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the intersection of Central Avenue and 5th Street and on West Doty near the fire.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just so that they aren't that close to the intersection, when they do start doing their drive, I don't know who's responsible for this one. I can't remember from the letter. But not so they're right at the intersection when they're doing it, so that they could do it more toward like the fire hall as opposed to Route 60. And the same over here.
That's the whole point, that they'll be missing little tricks.
Well, if they're gonna have, they usually have little kids with them, and an adult standing there. We just.
I'm thinking in the past they've done it in front of the fire hall. in that area.
Right, yes, that's
Stay out of
what,
the-
yeah, the same thing, yep, yep.
Okay. Number 4.
Number 4, notice a claim from Fred Petey of 132 Lambert Avenue, Verona, New York, for damage caused to the sidewalk, allegedly due to the removal of 2 dead trees by the streets department at 43 Albany Avenue, Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number 5.
Number 5, notice a claim from Gary Holt of 771 Deer Street for damages caused to his vehicle, allegedly due to being rear-ended by the city of Dunkirk front and lower.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number 6.
Number 6, notice a claim from Douglas Bartlett of 414 Lord Street for damages and flooding caused to his basement, allegedly due to a flood city named at his property on 246 Lincoln Avenue.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none. Number 7.
Number 7, loudspeaker permit request from Katie Mishko on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club to use microphones, amplifiers, and speakers for loud music on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for their annual street dance.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's go into summaries of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Witzkowiak.
Not here.
Okay. Councilman Bamado. Councilman Stoyan.
Okay.
Councilman Nichols. Nothing from me.
Why don't you do half here and half out there?
Let's do discussion of unfinished business. None, okay. How about discussion on pre-filed resolutions? Number 26.
Number 26, resolution removing the City of Dunkirk Industrial Development Agency and appointments to the City IDA Board.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none. 27.
Number 27, resolution authorizing a lease agreement for parking for Best Behavior Health Incorporated on East 4th Street.
Any discussion, council?
No, does Vince want to give any explanation on that? Is here or out there? I think we were
Well,
told.
again, so you want him to give an update here or out there?
Prefer out there because it would be up for the record then.
Well, this is on the record also, so. 28.
Number 28, resolution authorizing the Summer Jam on the Avenue co-ed basketball tournament.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. How about discussion on new business? Okay, hearing none. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Yes. Got a motion from Nichols. I got a second by Lutzko.
Councilmember Stoliak.
Aye.
Councilmember Blanco.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye.
Morning.
We'll do it out there. Yeah, good one.
Chief, is kids night out?
Tuesday on.
Great job, Greg. Good speed. We should be out of there.
I'm going first. Because then it's going to be more of a change, right? So on number one, since already done, I would believe that's just a motion to receive the file. Yeah, because it's already done, right?
Yeah, so
Call to order the regular meeting of June 6, 2023 at 5:30 PM. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Here.
Councilmember Monto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, certification of the prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting on Tuesday, May 16, 2023, was presented to the mayor on Wednesday, May 24, 2023. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. Witness whereof, I have now set my hand and the seal of the city of Dunkirk on this 6th day of June, 2023.
Okay, I need a motion dispensing with the reading of minutes and approving them as submitted. A motion by Nichols and a second by Councilwoman Luskowiak.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case the individual shall be limited to 3 minutes. And to any person representing a group shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups.
Privilege, oops, I'm sorry.
Councilman at-large D'Amico shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste, or are slanderous, or not germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified above shall strictly be adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time has expired.
Privilege of the floor is now open. Please state your,
Robert Mays, I reside at 102 Fraser Street in Dunkirk, Europe. And what I wanted to discuss is the safety of our railroad crossings, especially the one coming in on Route 60. If you look at that crossing and try to get across it, you'll see that the vehicles, or a lot of the vehicles, they do not even use the center lane. They'll go way over to the right, or the ones coming the other way are way over to the left. To the left, it's not as big a concern, but on the right, that's a sidewalk. And the vehicles are getting close to or even on the sidewalk. And then to add to that, that's a bike route. So the bicycle that's trying to get over those tracks and doesn't make it, and the tractor trailer that's coming behind them that perhaps can't see him, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. And it's more than that crossing. And I know that as far as is it federal, is it state, is it county? Actually, I've done a little investigation into that, and it's neither. It's the railroad that's responsible for that. And if I would like to help in any way I can, but the procedure is that the city would petition, and I may be wrong, this is what I understand, that the city would petition the state would petition the railroad would have 30 days to respond. If nothing happens, then they're called to a hearing along with whoever else, and we try to get through this because this is an ideal time to go after that, because the railroad is going through certain safety concerns, so they've got a whole new focus on safety. And if we went at this from the safety aspect, not just complaining about the shocks and struts and cars and kids and bicycles, but from that safety aspect, I think that we could really force the railroad into doing something. And I think that to begin with, if we did an audit of all the crossings coming through our city, ranked them as good, fair, and in need of emergency repair, and follow that through the stages that the railroad has set out. They just need to be followed. So it's not a matter of finger pointing, who owns this and who's going to fix it. It's not city, it's not county, it's not state, it's the railroad. And I think that as far as whatever's required, a petition to work with the city attorney, whatever the verbiage needs to look like, however it looks, and I'm sure that this isn't unplowed ground. It's had to have been done before, so we can lay out a plan, do an audit, rank our crossings, assign people, maybe it's a subcommittee, but I really feel that that's something that we could go after, and this is the prime time, because there's a lot of focus from going up to the governor to the president in reference to railroad safety, and that's domestically and internationally. I'm sure you've seen some of the incidents that are going on. So railroads, focus on safety. It's a pretty hot subject right now. And as far as the hot stove effect, this is a perfect time for us to go after something that's not going to cost us, as far as the taxpayers, some paperwork, the attorney, it's focus, it's nose to the grindstone, follow those procedures. And I think as far as enhancing the city with the homes on the way in and actually the city on the way out, first impressions are, how the hell do you get it? And so.
Okay, sir, your time is up, so if you'd like to close, if you got some more to say, I'll let you close.
So all I want to say is I think it's a huge opportunity right now. And from my point of view, I'll work with somebody as far as a petition and whatever, knocking on doors, getting signatures, whatever's required. I'm not here to say, somebody do something. I'm here to say, I'd like something done, and I'll do whatever I can to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only comment that I'd like to say, Mayor, I think we got a guy that's got a good relationship already with the railroad as your DPW director. What do you think we give Randy a shot to see if we can't get something done here?
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Also, the quiet zone was just renewed last year, and we met our local representative of the Federal Railroad Administration. He's based in New Hampshire, but I've got his cell phone number and stuff like that. So exactly what you say is the railroad. It used to be that the two worst crossings are on state routes. And Region 5 of DOT used to be the heavy hammer that would talk to the feds. But I agree with you, we've had enough time. I think it's time for me to reach out to the Federal Railroad Administration and give Norfolk Southern and CSX notice, especially on those two, that in my mind, those are the worst.
I know my time is up, but the description of the railroad for crossings is supposed to be whether inlet or outlet, that is supposed to maintain the smoothness, is the way that it's written. Excuse me. Maintain the smoothness of the beginning and the end of that. So any rough, whatever, it's totally their responsibility. And
absolutely, and this Lou Frangella has the right approach. He'll make it very strong. We're not allowed to work within about 30 feet of the tracks. We can't. Even if we wanted to, we can't get anywhere near them.
And I wouldn't think that we would want to. We wouldn't want the responsibility of the ones that did it. But we hold the people that are responsible for any tracks coming through our city. They're responsible for those tracks, and they're responsible for what could happen to somebody. So if we hang our hat on the safety aspect of it, based on what's been going on in the railroad industry, I think we have a lot of leverage.
I'm going to get a hold of you. We're going to work together. I want to keep this a continuing item. Thank you.
Willing, ready, and able.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Reese, residing at 433 Dove Street in the city. Many in this community are aware of the Herculean efforts made by the Department of Public Works in removing the deceased eastern white pine ash, in removing the deceased eastern white ash trees in Point Gratchit that were decimated by an emerald ash borer infestation. Many of the over 250 dead trees, including those representing an immediate threat to users of the park, have been cut down and chipped, much to DPW's credit. Revitalize Dunkirk slowly started an ongoing retreeing effort and have to date placed about 18 new trees at the point, as well as in other city locations. The organization stands ready to procure more trees for planting this fall. For planning purposes, it would be good for the organization to know the answer to two scheduling questions. First, the stumps of those trees already removed need to be ground, which would allow replanting in those areas already cleared. Does a schedule of such planned stump grinding exist, and when might a start be anticipated? Secondly, we note that much standing dead timber remains to be cut down, removed, and chipped. Does a schedule for such removal exist, and when will a start on that aspect of remediation commence? I wish to add that I personally am very pleased with the efforts of DPW crews and its leadership, but Revitalize Dunkirk and those of us who are closely involved with urban reforestation need information to plan a clearer path forward. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, you got anything to respond back to Steve on that, or can we give him any type of timetable moving forward?
No, I don't. I would say that DPW, as far as getting any grants goes, we're going to have to start from scratch. I'm unaware of any grants available at this time, but DPW definitely will be involved in the process.
Randy?
Sure. For the stump grinding, we had a problem with an older stump grinder, and we got a demonstration unit that we like, and we acquired that. We thought we would possibly be eligible for a grant, but I don't know. I think that's still in the works. But we needed to get the stump grinder in order to be able to grind them. And then right now we're doing pothole patching. Same crew will be going in there doing the stump grinding. We made the park safe. The stumps could be a tripping hazard, I suppose, but less of a hazard than a tree falling on someone. So the stumps are on the schedule to be done this summer, and then the reforestation. Summer's not the best time to plant a tree, but it's a good time to make a plan to plant a tree. So let's work together.
Which we wish to do.
Yeah, so we want to work with you, and by the time good planting season comes in the fall again, we want to dig the holes and get them in there. We would like to see a master plan of the entire point. We'd like to put more pavilions there, and we don't want to plant trees where the pavilion would be, and where maybe a parking lot would be, things like that. If we work toward a master plan, we can get it all done. So good ideas on all these things, and we'll work with you to make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Would anyone else like to speak?
My name is Sandra DePasto. I live at 60 East Front Street, and I just want to thank everyone who worked on the parade. This year it was beautiful. Whoever planned it and made sure everything went smooth, it was really beautiful. Really beautiful. And I'm proud of all of you for putting it all together. Today's the anniversary of D-Day. I would like to thank all those who sacrificed their lives and are still suffering today for our freedom. And I would like to thank those who are still fighting for our freedom and who are fighting tyranny, keeping the peace in our city, in our state, in our country, who are in this room today, who are still fighting the peace and fighting tyranny. And I would like to mention about the one healthy Christmas tree in the point grass which should be removed or cut down. It's where the bicycle trail comes and they cross over. And even if you're going slow, somebody just might not be looking, and it's really in a way. So many times I And I go very slow through there, and sure enough, there comes a bicycle out from behind the tree. So I think that one tree should be cut down or moved over somewhere else. But it's a healthy tree, but it's a safety factor. And I would also like to thank you for talking into your microphones. Many people don't have computers at home. They can't play it back. They can only hear it when you're speaking through the microphone close. So thank you again for speaking up. And I'd like to thank all of you for doing your jobs and for serving our city. And keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay, going once, twice, 3 times. Floor is closed. Communication from the mayor, including disapproval messages.
Mr. Chairman, do have a letter that I'd like Clerk Rosas there to read, if you could.
I have a letter addressed to Mayor Wilfred Rosas and Dunkirk City employees on behalf of Mackenzie Weaver, the secretary of the local chapter of the National Honor Society. They had their 14th annual Dunkirk charity basketball game, and the proceeds that were donated, they went to the child advocacy program, 2 families with medical expenses, our Special Olympics, the secondary PTO, and the Dunkirk Secondary Incentive Funds. Thank you so much for your generous donation, and made a great impact, and we look forward to next year to be even greater.
Nice.
Also have a communication from the president of the Dunkirk Historical Society, just thanking us again for the support that we've provided financially, and again asking for us to do a small increase for fiscal year 2024. Also wanted to publicly acknowledge all of the city departments last week during the Memorial Day Parade. Thought they did a very professional job, and I would especially like to recognize Ryan Hall and his team. There's a lot of time, work, and effort that goes behind the scenes, and sometimes he doesn't get the recognition he should get. Also, would like to remind everyone that, again, this Thursday, June 8th, Music on the Pier begins. That starts the event schedule for our season. We have a lot of different events, including the hose races on Friday that we're going to be having this weekend, where everybody's excited about it. We've received a lot of calls and hope to see the council members there. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, communication from the public and petitions. Number 1.
Number 1, ratification request from Steve Watterson on behalf of the Resource Center Filling the Gap in Slow Row Buffalo, requesting permission to conduct a group bicycle ride in the city of Dunkirk on Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Okay, this was already completed. Can I have a motion to receive and file? I got a motion by Stoyl and a seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 2.
Number 2, request from Katie Lemishko on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club to close Devon Street to traffic between East Doty Street and Courtney Street on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. for their annual street dance.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. Got a motion by Stoyl, seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 3.
Number 3, request from the Dunkirk Midget Football League to have their annual Dunkirk Midget Football Tag Days fundraiser on Saturday, August 19th, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the intersection of Central Avenue and 5th Street and on West Doty near the Fire Hall.
Any discussion, council? Okay, hearing none, can I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well approve subject to insurances and usual conditions? I got a motion by Bomano and a second by Councilwoman Luskowiak.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Monto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 4.
Number 4, notice a claim from Fred Petey of 132 Lambert Avenue, Fredonia, New York, for damages caused to a sidewalk allegedly due to the removal of 2 dead trees by the Streets Department at 43 Albany Avenue, Dunkirk, New York.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to legal? Motion by Nichols, seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 5.
Number 5, notice a claim from Gary Holt of 771 Deer Street for damages caused to his vehicle allegedly due to being rear-ended by a City of Dunkirk front-end loader.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the law department? I got a motion by Stoyl, seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 6.
Number 6, notice a claim from Douglas Bartlett of 414 Lord Street for damages and flooding caused to his basement allegedly due to a plugged city main at his property on 246 Lincoln Avenue.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, can I have a motion to refer to the law department? Stoyl, seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Number 7.
Number 7, loudspeaker permit request from Katie Lemishko on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club to use microphones, amplifiers, and speakers for live music on Saturday, July 8th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. for their annual street dance.
Any discussion, council? If not, can I have a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions? I got a motion by Councilwoman Luskowiak and Nichols.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Mamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reports of standing committee and boards and commissions, Councilwoman Luskowiak.
Randy, would you enlighten everyone regarding the new parking situation at Wright Park? I see there are more designated spaces on Lakefront Boulevard, alongside Serval on both sides of Lakefront Boulevard, and also the parking area near the skateboard park.
Sure. We had a meeting with the fire chief and the police chief and DPW officials, and mayor was involved as well. And the parking now is that there will be no parking on either side of Lake Boulevard extension toward the wastewater plant, between Serval and the crosswalk there, for kids to come from the splash pad to cross over toward the beach. Those have been temporarily labeled, they'll be permanently labeled. It's working out pretty well for the people that obey the signs, and gives a lot more visibility for traffic coming in so that people see the crosswalk ahead of time. In order to make up for those lost spaces, we've added 30 striped spaces at the end of the wall that people are using. It's a very organized way to park. And we've also added, where people kind of park inadvertently, we've paved some bump outs on the east side and the west side of Serval Street and added about 12 spaces total there. So we've more than made up for the spaces we've lost. It's increased the visibility at the dangerous, potentially dangerous intersection of Serval and the Boulevard. And then we have plans to add more parking off the skate park driveway. That'll be, once we get some funding for that, which we thought we had a way, it's going to take some time to get the funding and build that. But we have more than enough spaces right now to compensate for what the ones we took away for safety reasons.
Great, thank you, thank you. Vince, could you update us on the Dunkirk Revitalization Initiative? The committee has been selected by New York State, and they have had their first meeting. And I hear all of the meetings will be public, and the first public hearing, when is that, in order citizen voices can be heard?
Yes, thank you. The Downtown Revitalization Initiative process has begun. The process of putting together a strategic investment plan, which will be about a 5 to 6 month planning process. There is a local planning committee that has been selected by Department of State, and invitations were extended by directly from the Secretary of State. And we met for the first time last Thursday evening at Dunkirk High School on the 1st. And it was mostly an organizational type of meeting for various agencies from the state, including Empire State Development, Department of State, Homes and Community Renewal, to basically go over the process with the local planning committee and detail what their responsibilities and role is in this process. The next meeting will be next Tuesday, a week from tonight, 5:30 at Dunkirk High School in the cafeteria. And that will be a meeting that will mostly be looking for public input. And at this point, they're trying to establish a vision for downtown Dunkirk in this first meeting. And to see what type of development that the people of Dunkirk would like to see. And hopefully we can have projects that will meet that input. Additionally, we have a website up, dunkirkdri.com. You can access it directly at dunkirkdri.com or on the city's website on the homepage. There's a link right on the homepage screen for the DRI website. On that website, there will be a survey. Matter of fact, I just got a first look at it today, and we've been tweaking it. It's not ready to be published yet, but it will be in the next couple of days. Basically, just asking many of the same type of questions that will help our consultants, WSP, to help prepare this strategic investment plan. And one of the most important items is there'll be a call for projects. That will mean that any of the would-be developers for property within the DRI footprint can put forth a project for rehabilitation or whatever they think that could be a project that's transformational and catalytic in nature that could be requested for funding for the DRI. So it's going to be, again, about a 4 or 5 month process. All the meetings will be public meetings, and we will be seeking input. I will say that if those that are at the Music on the Pier on Thursday night, look for a pop-up type of tent situation where our consultants will be there and will be soliciting basically input from residents and visitors here and what they would like to see in Dunkirk. So it's going to be a very dynamic and robust process, and one that will seemingly go through rather quickly. So this is our one opportunity to make your voices heard, and hopefully there will be some very good projects that will come out of the call for projects.
Exciting, thank you. Everyone, please know there are new steps on both sides at the gazebo of Washington Park. I had pushed for this since I began in January of 2021, and finally, with CDBG funds, it's a reality. And lastly, all are welcome to the official press release this Saturday regarding the City of Dunkirk Hero Banners program. This Saturday, June 10th at 10 a.m., we will be thanking Ad Lumber for their generous donation that helped make this project a reality. And I will be inviting the Buffalo News and all local news stations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bomano?
Yes. Glenn, Lucas Avenue, the old Altec site, that grass is getting high. Can we,
Yes. It has been dispatched to our contractor, who hasn't done it because he is trying to get the right equipment that requires a bobcat to get in there, and that is in the works.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to echo on the mayor's comment about Memorial Day and Sandra's comment about Memorial Day. It was a beautiful day. Parade was well organized. Got to thank DPW, Parks Department, Streets Department. They got every park in the city looking pristine. And a lot of people attended all the festivities all weekend. It was just beautiful. I was proud to be a citizen of Dunkirk. And I also ran in the Officer Hazelton 5K race this past Saturday. And again, that race just keeps getting bigger and bigger and well organized. These guys are professionals, the police department, they got it down now. They've been doing it for so many years. So kudos to you and everybody that came out to that. That was a beautiful race. That's all I have.
Thank you.
How'd you finish?
Councilman Stoyl.
Yeah, I'd like to, first of all, I want to thank Chief Ortolano and his department for keeping up the good work on busting these drug houses. When he finds out they're here, he's not waiting, he goes in, boom, knocks them down. And people bitch that they're going to be back on the street, but it costs them money to get back on the street. So, Dave, keep up the good work. We're proud of you.
Thank you,
Chief, I want to congratulate you on the new fire boat, rescue boat. We've already made, what, 2 rescues? One?
Yeah.
For 2 people. Okay. So it was a good investment already. Glenn, I want to thank you. Vince, you look nice in the paper. 704 Columbus Avenue. Took me 4 years, took you guys 4 years. Thank you very much. And just before, before I close, I'd like to, Mr. Chairman, for the record, I'd like to see a copy of the lease for Mr. Doltz down at the hut. So when he comes back, Mr. Bobstein comes back, would you forward that, please?
Sure.
Now I turn it over to my esteemed partner here.
Thank you, Councilman Stoyl. Councilwoman Nichols?
Stop already. Bob, thank you. As a former 4th Warder, several meetings ago, I addressed the issue with the railroad tracks with Mr. Woodbury, and a tentative plan was set in motion. Unfortunately, with us working like this through a city, as you said, we have to use an upper hand and get in the big boys to take care of something because they're just not listening to us. Thank you again.
Again, if we hang our head on safety.
I know.
Right now, the conditions are perfect.
Okay, I'm going.
Yes, yes. Sandra, we agree with you that parade on Memorial Day was spectacular. It just, everybody's shown. You turn the corner from Lakeshore Drive to Central Avenue, you saw those people. I mean, they were 10, 15 deep. It just, you thought you were in a real big city for something, and I know we're a real big city, but it just brought tears to people's hearts to see. Everybody came to Dunkirk to see to see our parade and see how good we can put on a show. And this is only Ryan's 2nd parade that he's put together. I think he did a phenomenal job, him and his crew. Now we'll get down to business, okay? First of all, I just want to address an issue that last fall, we have a new city code put into effect that revolves around fences and accessory structures on property in the city of Dunkirk. I don't know if Glenn wants to expand on it or not, but if you're going to build, please call the building inspector's office, 366-9858, and you can get more information of the new policies that were set in effect. And then I've got another topic, as you're talking about your Columbus Avenue there. Talking to Glenn today on tear downs in the city of Dunkirk, and there's a potential list of houses that need to be torn down in the city. Could you give us an approximate number and approximate cost of what it would be to do that? But
the average price of demolition for a single-family house is about $30,000.
And you said today when I spoke with you, there's roughly 83 houses that could be addressed in that category?
No, we have a process of determining whether a building is safe or unsafe for occupancy. There are about 80 to 83 structures in the city that are vacant and unsafe. We have a list of about 8 single-family homes that we have in the process for demolitions.
So it's just so that when people are complaining that there's signs on houses that need to be addressed, it just doesn't happen at a snap of your fingers and the house comes down. There is a procedure and a policy that has to be followed before that happens.
That's right.
That's why it's taken you 4 years.
Don't get in line.
Yeah, I know.
That was a priority.
Just another note, I thought Ryan would be here tonight, but our Summer Better Than Other Camps registration has started yesterday. It'll be 2 weeks for our City of Dunkirk School District kids to sign up for it. And then after on June 19th, the non-city residents can sign up. And for more information on that, they can call 366-9885. The hours for sign up is 1 to 5 at our Rec and Youth Department down in the Stearns Building. And we addressed an issue with, at the DPW meeting on our pothole situation. And as Randy said, that our main streets, do you want to revisit that issue, Randy, on the potholes?
Sure. Just quickly, guys are doing. We bought a new pothole hot box. The original hot box was 30 years old. It was a brainchild of former DPW street supervisor James Gibner. Give him a lot of credit for doing that, along with former senior municipal worker and the late Ed Balzer. So just shout out some historical legends. So with the new hot box replaced the 30-year-old machine. It's working really well. Took us a while to get hot blacktop. They worked really hard today on 6th Street. They're doing all the main drags first, but they're going to hit every pothole and every street in the city on a systematic basis every day that they can. But while they're on that, I'd like to just give a shout out to the water maintenance crew that's doing in-house construction. This is the first hydrant on Point Drive West that's going to be a usable fire hydrant. We've had some incidents in that area. There was a fire on West Chestnut Street. We're going to have a couple of hydrants in that area that now should be either a green cap or a blue cap, as opposed to the black cap, which are unusable hydrants in that area. So little by little, Rob Curry and his crew are doing an excellent job to make the city safer. So potholes and fire hydrants, we're doing it all. Thanks.
Last Saturday, the county sponsored an old paint drop-off on Lucas Avenue, and if you missed that, we got late notice on it, but it was in the newspaper. If you missed that drop-off for old paint, you can, as the newspaper article said, take it to our local Sherwin-Williams store, and they will be accepting that. And also, Mr. Woodbury has let me know that Home Depot is taking fluorescent light bulbs. So if anybody, when they're doing their house cleaning, can utilize both locations to get rid of that, because Lucas Avenue will not and does not accept it, and should not be put in your curb trash pickup, because it could cause damage to other vehicles when they compact the trash in their packer. Are we all up to date and caught up on the lighting situation with the street lights, Randy?
Sure. Happy to report that LED Solutions, who's been our contact to both make the city a brighter city and also a cost-effective city, has finished the disconnects that National Grid required, and we're fully compliant with all of grid specifications, and all of the lights are working. The arms that had been damaged in a storm sometime have been replaced, except for maybe 1 or 2 that are still in the works. But at the mayor's initiative to get the LED program working, and the successful bidder on that one, LED Solutions, has come to a very happy conclusion.
Thank you.
Okay. I got one. Randy, can you fill just the rest of us in? I had a couple that was concerned about the condition of the Lakefront Boulevard Main Street side and the overgrowth on the inner walkway. I had an opportunity to speak with Randy, and I'll let Randy, if you would fill it in from there.
Sure, Councilman. I'd like to thank the two individuals, husband and wife, that offered to volunteer to help cut some of that excess greenery on that path. When I brought it to our engineering technician, he immediately got Local 912 interested in doing the work, so they've committed to getting that path cleared of the native species that have overgrown it. For the invasive species, the Japanese knotweed and the Australis phragmites, those will be addressed by Chautauqua County Soil and Water with a contractor using special technique to get rid of that, hopefully eradicate it at least for a season. Japanese knotweed grows 4 inches a day. It's an invasive and terrible species to have around. So that's going to be addressed. I'd like to thank the people who volunteer on stuff like that, and we'll work with them maybe on another project.
Thank you again for getting on that and seeing some progress. Okay, let's move on to unfinished business.
None.
Okay, let's go to pre-filed resolution number 26.
Resolution renewing the City of Dunkirk Industrial Development Agency and appointments to the City IDA Board.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. 27.
Number 27, a resolution authorizing a lease agreement for parking for Best Behavioral Health Incorporated on East 4th Street.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah. Again, I want to make it perfectly clear. A number of us in this administration have been subject to, I consider rather rude, pushy emails from a local entity about getting certain properties removed. This parking lot that we're talking about now, that is the city's parking lot?
That's correct.
Okay, because during those emails, as you well know, and I know the chief knows, part of this discussion from this fellow is that he wants to expand his parking over there for the school. But that in fact is ours.
That's correct.
Okay, I know you've been the subject of the same emails I'm getting, so.
Okay,
I just wanted to make that perfectly clear.
gotcha. No other discussion?
No, I didn't know if any discussion would, so that it's perfectly clear of what this agreement is stipulating of the footage. If it's the complete parking lot, that would be able to be used by that.
No, they're just going to run a number of spaces of the currently existing parking lot for their
Right.
staff as they're in and are out during the day.
Right, just for the record, so that it's, if anybody's listening, that they know that is what's perfectly
Vince,
clear.
do you need, Vince or Mayor, you need a clarification out of that I speak correctly to the fact that this is a small number of spaces that are currently exist that they want to put a lease for their staff?
You spoke correctly. They're not sure exactly how many spaces. We're going to negotiate an agreeable amount that we'll be charging them. Currently, we own it and we maintain it, but we receive no revenues from that property. So this would be a plus for the city and a plus for them.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor, for making that clear.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. 28.
Number 28, resolution authorizing the Summer Jam on the Ave Co-Ed basketball tournament.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Luskowiak.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at Large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. New business.
No new business, sir?
Councilman,
Yes, sir.
under new business, I'd just like to make a reminder that we need to change the July 4th meeting to July 3rd.
That is correct. That will be a holiday on the first July meeting. So in the past, you guys just moved over to Monday? Has that been
I
the,
can't remember the last time it's happened, so,
Mayor? Any ideas?
Resolution at the next meeting.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll make sure that happens. We'll get that in for the next meeting then.
Under new business.
Yep.
I was requested to ask this question. The Dunkirk Little League is in need of a new scoreboard. And inquired as to which, if we have any funds available, and I'm guessing the only thing I know about is this cease thing. Is there a way that somehow we could help these kids out with defray some of the cost?
Yes, we can use that Bill Cease fund. That's exactly what it's for. I think it fits the eligibility requirements, and my recommendation would be that the council consider that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have nothing else under new business. Can I have a motion for adjournment? Nichols. Can I have a second by Leskoviac?
Councilmember Skoyak,
Aye.
Councilmember Mamanto,
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember Mayor Lodge D'Amico.
Aye, we're adjourned.
Let's do it again.